Speaking of movies, David.
Speaking of movies, good segue. We got our story of the week. No, story
David.
of the century.
Of the week.
Okay.
Get it right.
I know. It's not like I haven't been doing this for 50 plus weeks. Anyways.
Now, obviously, speaking of movies, we have obviously reviewed a bunch of summer movies this year.
I have watched a ton of movies this summer.
I think this is the closest. I haven't watched this many movies in a summer, like the summer movie season, in a long time.
Yeah.
Almost every single week.
I think it has to do with this little podcast we're doing.
Yeah,
but no, the recent, we've been going to advanced screenings, which is awesome. Love that. So,
right.
It's cool. I've been watching a lot more movies in the theater. I watch a lot at home, but not in the movie theater. But
right.
I wanted to do a little game. Don't show me that.
Okay.
We're going to talk about...
First of all, what did you think of this summer movie season, David? Comparing to other big summers.
I think it was... The movies that I was most excited for didn't exceed expectations, I should say. They met expectations or slightly below. There was only one or two genuine surprises of this is better than what I thought it was going to be. But then there's a bunch of this is not as good as I thought it was going to be. A lot of disappointment, a lot of trying to create reasons why it's a good movie and trying to, So for me, it gets probably a C. It's not the worst, but it's good. It's average. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the movies like X-Men Apocalypse, what didn't exceed my expectations, but it met my expectations. I thought it was a fun, good movie. Yeah. It just wasn't this transcendent X-Men movie that Days of Future Past was.
Couple letdowns, obviously.
Yeah, Captain America Civil War. Excellent movie, but my expectations are too high at this point. And I don't know I think it probably exceeded
it exceeded my expectations.
But very, very, razor thin, right? Which is sad because the movie's fantastic, right. But it's, those movies have just, Avengers, the first one is just I don't know how you're going to ever eclipse that.
Well, comparing this summer to other years, David, this is one of the worst summers of all time.
As far as critical ratings or box office gross. Yeah.
Gross. And there was a lot of movies this year missed their targets.
Big time.
Big time. You had Independence Day. Ghostbusters was a huge... Ghostbusters expected to miss $75 million.
No, I know, but that was a pleasant surprise. I actually thought that was better than my expectations.
That was lower than my expectations, but we already know.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm looking back here, total gross, we're sitting pretty at a little over $4 billion this summer. Last year, 4.4, year before that, a little bit less in 2014. When Guardians of the Galaxy was the highest grossing movie.
There's no additional movie coming out between now and is there a big movie? I'm trying to think of something that's coming out. Sully?
Well, I'm thinking of summer-wise. No, summer movie season's over.
It's over? Okay. I'll just check. I didn't know.
Yeah. Normally, the weekends kids go back to school is the summer movie season's over.
Okay.
So I think Ben-Hur would be one of the last, which was one of the biggest disappointments this year.
Yeah, you were reading an article to me about it.
Where they made $19 million opening.
That's bad. And I'm sure that movie was expensive because you watch the 1959 version? Holy crap. That movie looks amazing. The amount of costumes, the props, the setting. That movie was expensive back in 1959. So you can only imagine. I saw and
that's just a definition of a movie that does not need to be remade. The old one, does it hold up?
Oh, yeah. It's great, but it is... it holds up, but it holds up in a different... It's a classic movie.
Yeah.
Quote, unquote. So it's not going to have the chariot races like they have in the new one, or it's not going to have...
Fast and Furious style.
Well, I don't know if that's what I wanted in Ben-Hur. That's the problem. It's you can remake Ben-Hur. I have no problem with that, but you need to not focus on the action part because that really,
It's not what the movie is about.
Well, it has moments of that, but it seems like when I was watching the trailer, it was just the
whole movie was the chariot scene, or the whole trailer and stuff was all about the chariot scene.
Right. So I don't know, but it's also the scale now. Having an epic movie like Ben-Hur occur is kind of normal, right? Hundreds of a huge cast, crazy CGI, props, special effects. That's almost kind of normal. You have to go Avatar to be this, considered
it's huge blockbuster.
Yeah, to be breakthrough technology wise, or even something like
crap ton of actors like Civil War and
right, something like that. To meet the expectation of just being a spectacle, right? Just being a visual phenomenon. You can't really get away with that unless you do something insane because it's easy to do the insane stuff now.
Right. But comparing to other summers, and the last summer that did as bad as this, worse than the $4 billion, was back in 2006, David. So 10 years ago. That was $3.7 billion.
Some of that might be inflation, though, right? I mean,
maybe 10 years ago, not that much inflation. But yeah, it's definitely been a down summer. Why do you think that is?
I think it has to do with the biggest... Because here's what happens. I'm not a movie executive, but I would imagine when someone puts their tentpole as a movie, a huge summer movie, get the hell away. Like, get the hell away. If we're another blockbuster, like, you don't release X-Men on the same day you release Batman versus Superman.
When you have a summer that every weekend there's a huge movie coming out. I mean, where you got to put it somewhere. You know what I mean?
No, right. But this is what I'm saying. So it's a byproduct of spreading out as much as you can. But then if it comes out of the gate and it really, I think it has a lot to do with like the first couple movies. If it's disappointment, you've kind of let the air out of the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of the movies that came out at the beginning of the summer had disappointment on them. Although I would say Captain America.
That's up there.
That was in the beginning of summer. I'm trying to remember when.
Yeah, I think end of May, beginning of June. I think.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact day. But you have to. I don't think Disney and superheroes can do it all by themselves. There has to be another huge summer movie, like the summer movies this year that were the huge summer movies.
Batman, Superman, and Suicide Squad, I think, were the biggest. That at least were supposed to be the biggest.
No, but I'm saying other than superhero movies, there's no more. Independence Day,
which flopped.
Did it flop?
Big time.
Really?
Yeah. The reason why I think summer movies did so bad this year. Well, one, TV, but two, like, one, movies are expensive, so you want to make it worth it, right? You want to go and see a half decent movie, and this day and age, you have press screenings, and the reviews are out on Rotten Tomatoes so much, and people hold that review number, so highly regarded that if your movie bombs before it even comes out because the
word of mouth, the
word of mouth's going to tank a movie. Like Batman vs Superman had reviews before it came out,
made $1 billion, buddy.
Yeah, but they were expecting, well, not even $1 billion, David, like 900 something million.
Yeah.
But they were expecting $1.3 billion out of that, and they probably made a little bit of money, but not nearly what they were expecting after marketing and everything. But the word of mouth is really important, and I hope Hollywood learns that we just can't keep coming out with reboots and rehashes and all that stuff. They try to be more creative, and not only that, but maybe put more thought into these big summer movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's
you can't just throw crap on screen and expect billions of dollars.
Oh, 900 million. You can expect that. I think it's hard because you want to strike that balance between like giving creative freedom, but also like we're a business, like we're not a charity.
Oh, of course, yeah.
We're a for-profit company,
and you see that like Batman vs Superman is kind of an example of maybe the director had a little bit too much fingers in it.
Well, so you could say the other way. You could say he didn't have enough time.
I guess we don't know.
Like I said, I recently watched Watchmen, and that guy can tell a good story. Like, but he should be in charge of like cinematography or whatever they, like
he's really, his
director of photography. Like amazing. Like his strong point is setting a scene and creating a gorgeous visual, like just makes your eyeballs smile. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But has problems with maybe continuity and storytelling. But that's beside the point. I think. I do think a big reason why movies, it's two. Expectations are way too high. Way too high. Like, we talk about it when we did the Disney podcast. Like, Disney or Pixar makes a ton of money, right? And people are like, okay, we can make that money. It's like, no, they're an anomaly. Like, it's not easy, and it's not something anybody can do. You can't recreate that. So set your expectations appropriately. Like,
what do you mean people's expectations?
The movie studios, movie studios are like, we're going to make $2 billion, and it comes out and it's 1.3 billion or whatever, and they're like, that's a flop. It's like, what? Are you like you?
Well, these big movies, they put a lot of money in production and marketing,
but that's based off of expectation, right? You're like, it's okay to spend all this money on marketing because we're going to make it all back. Like, set your expectations appropriately. Yeah, but true. I don't know if it's quality control. I don't know if one hand doesn't talk to the other because, again, I'm not in the business, but it sounds like that might be some of the problem is, if I'm a marketer, if I'm a marketing company, well, sure, we should market the hell out of your movie because guess what? Money in my pocket.
Exactly.
So might be a problem. I also think the markets matter. I mean, like you see more movies like Transformers critically put to bed. People don't like those movies. They make a ton of money overseas.
This year, Warcraft is the biggest example of that. Warcraft this year did not make its money here in the U.S. It made a majority of its money domestic. It made only 47 here. That's total gross. $47 million worldwide.
Right. So it's you have to also take into consideration, like, again, they're a for-profit company, so
yep.
Hey, maybe we don't give a crap about American audiences as much in our particular movie and just make it visually stunning and make it great action, because at the end of the day, the less talking, the less subtitles, better for a foreign audience. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not mad at them for doing that, but as a angry American, I'm like, put more story in it. Wow, you should care about the artistic. They're like, you have to remember, like, these companies can go out of business, so they're interested in making money. But I want to do.
Yeah, let's play a game.
Okay, yeah, I want to see if I can guess how many do I think I can get? Top 10?
Well, I have the top 100 list on Box Office Mojo from this summer. And I want you to guess, starting at number 1.
Well, I'm not going to go. I want to try to get
bottom up.
I want to try to get, like, I think I can get 6 of the top 10.
You're just going to list what you think.
I'm going to say the 6 movies. I think
all the movies.
I think I can get 6 out of 10. Okay, so because I know, like, a couple for sure. Let's do 7. Let's see if I can get 7.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay, Captain America: Civil War is on that list, top 10. Yes.
I'm supposed to tell you yes or no?
Yeah. Okay.
It is.
Batman vs Superman.
Nope.
It's not on the top 10?
No.
Are you kidding me? I already lost?
Yeah, you already lost.
See? Batman.
Well, you said 7, so you can get 1.
Okay.
3 wrong.
I'll guess 10 things. Okay. Well, if that didn't make the top 10 grossing movies, okay. X-Men Apocalypse?
Yes.
What number was that?
5.
Really? That made more money than Batman vs Superman?
Yeah, I'm trying to find Batman vs Superman on this list.
That's got to be on there, dude. There's no way.
Dude, I don't see it. I'm telling you, man. You want me to just read them off to you?
No. Okay, I want to keep guessing. Let's see. I know that, like, people on the other side of the podcast.
Maybe that's not considered a summer movie. Did that come out too early?
Maybe it did.
Maybe it came out before Civil War. It must have, because it's not on this list.
Okay.
Right, so that would Batman vs Superman.
Okay. Let's see. What else would have made a ton of money? Independence Day?
Top 10?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
12. So close.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to think of some other really popular movies. Maybe something again. Oh, Star Trek. Beyond.
Yes.
What number was that?
6.
Oh, what was Captain America, number 1?
2.
What was number 1?
Am I supposed to tell you?
No. I'm thinking. Oh my god, I'm trying to think. I would have figured they would have made the most money.
Do you want any hints or?
No. I'm trying to think of the movies that we went and saw. Suicide Squad.
Yep.
What number is that?
4.
Okay. Sausage Party? Did that make the top 10?
Yes.
It did?
No. Sorry,
okay.
That's a lie.
All right. Well,
number 18.
Okay, nah, I'm done. Okay, so go through it.
All right.
I'm terrible at this.
Number 10.
Number 10 is?
Ghostbusters 2016.
Oh, so it did crack the top 10.
With $124 million.
It's just how much that movie cost to make and market.
Yep.
Okay.
Legend of Tarzan, number 9.
My dad loves that movie. He says it's the
CG
most...
is great, right?
He says, Jungle Book's on there. Now that I think about it.
Top 10?
Top 10? No? Maybe? Okay, keep going. After Jungle Book, what's next?
Why don't I see that? Let me just list them, because maybe I don't know how to read.
Yeah.
Number 8, Central Intelligence. So with Chris Rock and Kevin Hart.
I heard mixed reviews. Okay, yeah. That's good to see a comedy. Make the top 10.
Yeah. Number 7, Jason Bourne.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That movie was just meh.
Number 6, Star Trek Beyond. Number 5, X-Men Apocalypse. Number 4, Suicide Squad. Number 3, Secret Life of Pets.
Oh, I didn't think about... Dory. Dory's number 1. Dory's number 1. Okay, I didn't think about that. See, that's... Okay, so you have Secret Life of Pets. That's good to see that that Illumination Studios did really well with their movie. I haven't seen it. I've heard good things.
Yeah.
Number 3?
Secret Life of Pets, number 3. Civil War, number 2. Finding Dory, number 1. So that rounds
I should have known. Finding Dory,
sure.
made $1 bajillion.
Yeah, so Disney definitely won this year.
Well,
their studio, Buena Vista Entertainment, hit it out of the park with Dory, Civil War.
I told you, they have that money printing machine in the back. They just turn it on and print
seriously, with Starbucks and
do you think like the U.S.
Star Wars, Lucasfilm?
Yeah, do you think like the U.S. government just gives them like a mint, like to literally just print money? They're just like, it's easier than mailing it to you. Like, it's the American people have spoken.
Yeah, maybe.
Like the Bank of Disney.
Yeah.
It's sad because like, they got... Okay, which one do you think happens first? A Marvel Disney movie is rated under 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, or a DC movie is rated over 75% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What happens first?
Which one happens first?
Ooh.
There's a good bet for you. 75 aggregate on Rotten Tomatoes, are close to it. You know what I mean? Like a critically acclaimed good movie, certified fresh.
Yeah,
I know
certified
that's
fresh is 61.
I know, but I'm saying 70. I'm give it because 60 is mixed.
Certified?
But let's just say above 75.
Okay.
Or a Marvel Disney movie below 30%. What do you think happens first?
I'd say probably a Marvel Disney movie.
Really? Which one?
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, the next Thor movie, but I don't know. I've seen some stuff about the next Thor movie, and it looks better than any.
Hulk's going to be in it, right?
Yeah, and the guy who's directing it is a hilarious guy. I can't wait for this movie.
So I don't know. What about maybe Ant-Man 2? Or maybe Doctor Strange?
That's tough.
Doctor Strange, maybe it's too weird.
I mean, it's kind of one of those things where like they're on a streak. They're gonna get one that sucks eventually, right?
Yeah, I mean averages tell you that, right?
Yeah. But
below 30%, like that's a
bad movie,
right? Like that's
Batman vs Superman bad.
We do it every week, guys. You know.
Actually, probably the DC one. Honestly,
you think Wonder Woman or Justice
I think Wonder
League?
Woman's gonna be a dumpster fire.
I don't think so.
Dude, but I don't know. That is such a hard.
That's
thing.
a hard question.
What do you think?
I think DC above 75. That's a positive person in me. I think Wonder Woman's going to be a good movie. This is it. If they fool me here, if they get me, I'm pumped.
Are you bought into it? I'm ready. So I'm done.
No, because
I'll go watch it, but the hype is done for me.
She was one of the best parts about Batman
They've had
versus
3 movies.
Superman. No. But she was one of the best parts of Batman versus Superman.
No, I know, but
and so her charisma and hopefully her fun comes across. And they've got to learn at a certain point. I know they filmed a lot of it, but they'll learn.
But we saw the trailer and like I was excited for the trailer. But I'm like, nope. They've done this to me.
That's my point.
3 times now.
If they do this one
Shame
more,
on you.
If they do it one more time, then I think I'll be like, you got to prove me wrong now.
Oh, you're already there.
Yeah, I'll get there.
I'm ready there, man.
Yeah, I know. All right,
that's a tough one.
That's a tough question. I say. What you said below 30% for Marvel, and I went the other way. So that's our bet. Here, shake on it.
Yeah,
all
sure.
right, for a pizza.
In like 10 years when that happens,
we'll see. All right. So now that we got through our story of the century of the week, we got something to review for you folks.
Yes.
Speaking of Star Wars, I think you said it for like a second, maybe. I'm trying to figure a segue here.
No, I said Starbucks for some reason.
That was weird.
I went to say Star Wars.
He's trying to get that advertising like Gatorade and Nike.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm like mad at him here.
So this week we are going to review a board game